Yes, greetings, colleagues. My name is Jakes, the co-founder of Jakes Humility Investment CC. So, as promised in our last video, that our next discussion was gonna be on differentiating between doing business for survival, doing business for growth, and doing business for survival with a mindset of growth. So, I would love actually to start off with explaining the class of doing business for survival. I will be using the same example throughout. Hopefully, it won't be boring. Take note. Let me give you an example. Let me say, for instance, you're an entrepreneur and you're selling eggs. You sell eggs and you buy a tray that consists of 30 eggs. You buy the tray for $80 and you sell each egg for $5. So once you make your sales, you come back home with $150. So once you come back with $150, you take $100. The $100, the $80 is for another tray of egg. The $10 is for spice and salt. Then the other $10 for firewood. Then you use the $50 for sugar, like sugar, meat, maybe buy airtime, buy soap, whatever you're going to use it. But you have to use it, like for your daily expenses. So the next day, you boil your eggs, do your sales, come back home with $150. You remove the $100. By now, you are supposed to know what the $100 is for. $80 for another tray of egg, $10 for firewood, the other $10 for spice and salt. This time around, we're going to use the $50 to buy maize meal. Okay? The next day, we boil our eggs, we make our sales, we come back home. We take our $100. We already know what it is for. This time around, the $50, we have to send it to dad or mom. She wants to use the $50 for something, so we send it. The next day, we boil our eggs, we do our sales, we come back home. This time around, $30 goes to your brother in the hostel. $20 you use it to buy, let me say this time around, toothpaste. So if you're at that stage whereby you use the business profit for your own expenses or daily expenses, if you are at that stage where you use up all the business profit for your own expenses, you're actually doing business for survival. Now let's move on doing business for growth. Using the same example, let me say you're selling eggs. You buy a tray of eggs for $80 that consists of 30 eggs. You sell each egg for $5. You boil your eggs, you make your sales, you come back home with $150. You take the $100, reinvest it. The other $50, you put it aside. Okay? So the next day you come back with $150. You take the $100, you reinvest it. By now we are supposed to know what the $100 is for. The $50, you put it aside. So in your savings, you have now $100. So the next day, you come back with the $150. The $100, we reinvested the $50. We put it in our savings. So we have $150 now. Now, we have two types of entrepreneurs, or probably even more than two types of entrepreneurs, but we have different types of entrepreneurs. Let me put it that way. You have entrepreneurs that will take the $150 and reinvest it in the business. And you have entrepreneurs that will just take $100 from the savings and reinvest it in the business. And you have entrepreneurs that will just keep on saving. So I'm the type of entrepreneur that will take the whole money and reinvest it in the business. So if you are a type of entrepreneur with a mindset of investment or reinvesting in the business, at that stage, you take $100, or you take you take $100 and you buy 2 trays of eggs. The next day, you come back with $300. Okay, so you can decide whether you're going to reinvest the whole $300 or you're gonna put some money aside. Let me say, for instance, you reinvest the $300. You buy three trays of eggs. You put the $40 aside, because we already have $10 for spice and salt, and the $10 for firewood. So these $20 from each 100, we just have to put it aside. So you buy now 3 trays of eggs. The moment you have enough money to buy 4, this is where you employ someone, because the amount of money that you are having is enough to buy 4 trays of eggs or 5 trays of eggs. You employ someone. You continue doing the sales. When the money is enough to buy 8 trays of eggs, you employ another person. And you have a mindset that in 3 years' time, I should be owning a poultry. In 5 years' time, I should be owning a chicken shop. In 7 years' time, I should be one of the biggest egg producers in Namibia. If you are currently at that stage where you are reinvesting and where you are looking forward to employing and where you are thinking in years, then you are doing business for growth. This is where you don't touch the business profit. You only touch the business profit when you are paying your workers and when you are paying yourself. So at this point, this is where the business of entity is applied. Let's move on. Doing business for survival with a mindset of growth. Let's use our eggs. We buy a tray of egg that consists of 30 eggs. We sell each egg for $5. We make our sales. We come back home with $150. We already know what the $100 is for. We are left with $50. We take a $20. We put it in a savings. The $30 we use it to buy sugar and meat. Okay. The next day, boil our eggs. We make our sales. We come back home with $150. The $100 we already know what it is for. We are left with the $50. This time around, we buy electricity. We put the $20 in our savings. So the next day, once you do your sales, same thing. $20 is put in the savings. The $30 you use it for your daily needs. So until that, those $20 become an $80. Once it becomes an $80, you invest it in the business, and this time around, you're going to buy 2 trays of eggs. When you come back home with $300, you take this time around, you take money enough for two trays of eggs. Your expenses, you take money for your expenses. You put whatever is remaining aside. Okay. So the next day, you boil your eggs. Come back home with the $300. You use the money for your daily needs, whatever you need for that day. You put the other money aside until you start buying 3 trays, until you start buying 4 trays. Paying your bills and saving. So until you are able to, you can actually afford 5 trays of eggs, you employ someone. Okay. So once you employ someone, you start thinking of like, okay, at least by next year, I should be at least having 3 employees. I should be having 2 employees working in Valves, 1 employee working in Window. So you at that stage, you also have plans that at least in 10 years time, I should have recovered. I should be owning a poultry, and I should be at least owning a chicken shop. If you are at that stage where you are using the business profit for survival, yet you're actually saving for the purpose of reinvesting, you're actually doing business for survival with a mindset of growth. I hope you did learn something. So you have to answer, under which class are you? Are you doing business for survival? Are you doing business for growth? Or are you doing business for survival with a mindset of growth? I hope you did learn something. Please do reshare so that the next person can pick up 1 or 2 points. And if you have any topic in mind that you want me to talk about, please kindly just drop the topic in the comment section. If I have the knowledge and I'm able to talk about that certain topic, I will do so. God willing. But if I'm not, I'll let you know. So for the meantime, I do not have any topic in mind. I'm waiting from you guys to drop any topic. And if I happen to get another topic, hopefully I have to get a topic. I have to get a topic. There's a lot to discuss about. So once I get a topic, then just be on the lookout for the next video. Thank you for listening. Dango.